What's up, people? I'm here, and as promised, I have that rare, exclusive Chris the Glove Taylor interview that is only going to be right here on the Honor Show.
Sounds like a damn monster movie.
We talk about him growing up. We talk about his early days as a DJ for the Stars. We talk about his days at Ruthless Records, at Deathrow Records, at Aftermath Records. We talk about what he's got going on nowadays in his new album, REDSHIRT FRESHMAN. And believe me, you're going to want to know where to get that, which we talk about in the interview. The whole interview is fire. We talk about everything. We talk about it all. So make sure that you watch it all. All right, in order to start right away, if you haven't already subscribed, I would love to have you on the team, and I'm always making new content. All you gotta do is hit that subscribe button. Shout out to Shady Beats. All right, come on, here it is.
Hope you enjoy it!
So, I'm just gonna do a little intro here for the people watching later. So you're watching the Honor Show, and we have Chris the Glove Taylor, who is one of the absolute greatest hip-hop and R&B producers of all time. He's also a composer, a screenwriter, music editor, and programmer, mixer. This man has had placements on major feature films, plus way too many hit cable and primetime TV shows to even start mentioning. He's produced several multi-platinum hit songs as well as artists, and he's an amazing artist himself when it comes to making music and rapping. I've been listening to his music, and it's mind-blowing. It's epic. So I'm real glad to have you on today, Chris.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah.
How you doing this wonderful day?
Great. How are you doing?
Absolutely fantastic, man.
Hey, good. That's glad to hear. Glad to hear it. Man, I guess we'll just jump right in. Let's start kind of from the beginning. Where did you grow up at?
I grew up in Los Angeles, California. I was born in Hollywood.
Okay.
At the Cedars of Lebanon, which is now Cedar Sinai. And then I grew up in LA, South LA, and then went to Inglewood High School and moved over to the West Side. And, my life is different. I wasn't, poor and, like destitute or selling crack or on the street. I had to be home when the street lights came on and everybody had a nice car in my neighborhood. It was not like everybody that does this music.
Cool. That's awesome.
They had hard lives mostly.
Right. It's okay, my stuff. Did you like school growing up?
You know what? School and I were it was a strange mix because I taught myself how to read as a child by reading pieces of paper and picking up scraps. My mom couldn't stop me. She said when I was 2, I could read. So she found out because we were driving to the car and I said, B-A-R, bar. She said, say, where? I said, right there. It was a sign that said bar. She was like, oh my God, this boy, please don't be evil. So I did that. And then she took me to get an IQ test. We'll leave that. I won't even bring that up. I'll piss people off with that one. It's very north. It's very north, if I do say so myself. I never could understand it. Then I started figuring out that all genius is, when you have a genius IQ, it's just figuring shit out. Genius is figuring shit out. Like, oh no, we got a problem. Somebody figures it out and everybody goes, genius. You know what I'm saying? But really, you just like, school and I, so this is the thing. I didn't get good grades, but I knew, like, I was the person they would call in class. I would give them the answer. I'd go on the board, fill out the problem. What I would do is I didn't do homework, and I didn't like, if I had a test, especially in math, they give you sections. So 5 like this, 5 like this. So I would just take the hardest one, solve each section, turn it in. So you're supposed to do 25 problems. I'd turn in 5 problems. They're all correct, but I get an F.
Man.
So, and then I learned that, see, so the school system treats you something that's not really true. It's a false system because there's no such thing as homework. Like if you got to take your work home, you fired.
Right. Right.
You can't take no work home. So I was like, what you talking about? I'm at 7-Eleven, right? I got to take my work home with me. Hell no. And if I'm a bookkeeper or something, I'm doing that shit there, and then I'm leaving. Like I clock, boop, I'm Fred Flintstone with that.
Right.
I don't believe in, because hey, you want me to work? I'm working. I'm off now, and I'm not taking it home.
Right.
So I'm not doing that at school. So I didn't get great grades, but I was always in advanced placement and always in honors classes, getting D's and barely.
A lot
Because
of geniuses did though.
I would question my teachers. They would be like, "What? Go see the." So when I was in junior high school, I went to a school called Henry Clay, and I failed. I was in the 7th grade, and I took pre-algebra. So that will put me in algebra 1 in the 8th grade, which puts you in calculus as a senior. Like I was on a path, right? Because I want to be a rocket scientist. So I was like, yo, I hate this class. That's where I had most of those issues, like arguing with the teacher and that. So when I was failing it, the principal was a mathematician, and it was 4 of us that were having issues. And he said, you know what, I'm going to teach these guys. You come to summer school, I'm going to teach you guys. So I went to summer school, and the principal, he taught us in his office. It was 4 of us, and we learned algebra, all of it, all the math. He taught us all that shit. It was like, look, this is this. And every trick he taught us, I still use those to this day. Him and my dad taught me one. So school was an experiment for me.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for sharing all that. I love. See, that's what that's what I do this for. I love these origin stories and hearing how shit started. And you know what? A lot of geniuses throughout history didn't get great grades. Einstein got terrible grades and didn't do well in school. And so I think what happens is a lot of really smart people get bored with it. So
there's nothing new in there. It's like I learned all of this before I got here. Right. They were supposed to teach you to read in kindergarten. I already knew that. I was like, what is this? I got skipped twice. My mom kept moving me up, and that didn't help. I graduated when I was basically 16. I turned 17 a week before graduation. So but school knowledge is it though. I'm like all about that. So I would love to teach, and I think that teaching in my unorthodox style of learning might help somebody like me get good grades. Like this guy don't need that. Give him an A, bro.
Right.
He didn't turn in his homework. Right. Trust me, that dude over there. So, and I guess doing that. So my growing up being that kind of having that feature, I've always had that rebellious feature, like in the studio. Like when everybody likes something, unless it's really good, I just don't like it. Just because everybody likes it, I don't go with the flow. I want to find if the flow is right.
Right.
And I think that's why, I worked a lot with certain people, and they knew I was honest about, I wasn't going to change what I said regardless, even if it's wrong. Yeah. I mean, I'll be like, okay, I was wrong, but that's what I said. Not like, oh, I take it back or some bullshit.
Yes. I love it. When did you start getting into music?
So I learned how to play the organ from a man named Toussaint McCall in like 1974, 3. I started taking organ lessons because I wanted to play something electric.
Yes.
And they didn't have anything. It was guitar. You could play the electric guitar. So it was a piano, and then the electric piano, which was shitty, the Rhodes, what's that? I want the thing with all the knobs and switches on it. So I learned how to play the organ. So I go to my organ teacher first day. I mean, I wanted to learn it, but I looked at it like, man, the organ, I got to play in church now. I'm stuck to being a church boy. And then when I walked in, he had the organ, and he had a gold record plaque on the wall. And I said, oh, what's that? He said, oh, you like that? If you learn how to play this, you'll get one of those. I said, really? What is it? He said, it's a gold record. I sold 500,000 copies, 500,000 copies of my song that I did. I was like, really? And so I learned how to play the organ with every intent of getting one of those. I didn't care nothing about the organ. I wanted the plaque. So I'm like, okay. So boom, I learned the organ, and then I started playing at church. I went to like a Methodist church though. You play hymns. like slow motion. You don't play like them church dudes that be getting down on TV.
Right.
Nah,
Uh,
that was not me. I mean, at home I was imitating and stuff, but at church I had to play, you know,
right.
very slow motion and a pipe organ too, that to boot. So anyway, that got me into music, but I grew up in a very religious family, so I couldn't listen to the radio. So I didn't know the hip songs and stuff unless I hear them in the streets.
Right.
So that's kind of where I learned about the streets, like walking to school, walking home, you're in the streets.
Right.
And that's when you hear music, cars go by. And so I started tuning into that thing at a young age because I couldn't hear nothing. I had to get outside to hear music. So I get up early and get outside like, ooh, what's that? Cameo, or what's that? Will it go around in circles? You know, this is the 70s. So,
yeah,
you know, I'm hearing this music and I'm still not thinking about creating it. I love the music so much and I'm hearing it. Now I want to play music. I want to be a DJ.
yeah.
Forget school. I want to play the music. I love music. So I want to play it and make people dance and happy. So my other mind said, what's a DJ? It's 1979, fool. Oh, there's no YouTube yet. Oh, wow. There's no internet, actually. Oh,
Right.
There's no even place you can ask somebody. Like, you can't even walk up to a nightclub and say, excuse me. So what you going to do? So I had to genius that out. So I figured it out, learned that there's record players and then there's a turntable. Like, who knew? Like, I'm 18, you know, now. 17, I'm 17. So I'm figuring it out, and I get a job at Burger King. So remember, I'm out of school, but I'm still just 18. So I'm like, kids think I'm going to their high school when they come in Burger King and see me working there, right? I'm like, nah, bro, I'm out of school. You tripping. So I'm the manager.
Yeah, yes.
So a young man worked there that was named Tony Joseph that turned out, I said, hey, Tony, you know, we working. And he's like, what are you doing? I always see you at Radio Shack and trying to, you know, in the neighborhood. I want to be a DJ. He said, oh, you do? He said, I'm a DJ. He was from Brooklyn. So he said, come over to my house. So Tony Joseph took me to his house and he pulled out, back then it was a component set. Like it was a record player with a 8-track and a radio tuner on it.
Yeah.
And you could play, you know, vinyl. So he put that out there. I said, okay, I know what that is. Then he pulled out a record player. It was a turntable, only played records. I was like, what's that? He said, oh, this is a turntable. It's a SLB1 Techniques. I only got one. I was like, oh. So I'm looking at that, right? And I had already known that the mixer was one with these knobs. I never found one. He pulled out a mixer. It had crossfaders, and it was all lines, no knobs. I was like,
yeah.
It was like, oh, the music came out. I was like, what's that? Oh, this is it was somebody's mixer. It was one of the first, I think it was Gemini or GLI or something. It was only 4, it had 4 faders and a crossfader. It was little. I was like, that's what I need. So he made me a tape and I watched him and he was a master at blending.
Yes.
And so that's really my secret, like, superpower. I blend records. I scratch and cut, but I know how to I'll keep you on beat. I'm a dance DJ. If I'm DJing, you're not gonna stop dancing. I won't let you off the floor. I don't release them. I keep playing a better record. And now, in 2023, I can just play all hit records for like 2 hours straight. You will never stop dancing.
Yes.
And you're gonna know every song too. So,
yeah.
You know, that's what got me to playing music. But getting into making music came from when I became this DJ and started playing house parties, and then move on to this. I got into this club called Radio, where I was delivering speakers and turntables. Now I have advanced up and I know what 1,200 turntables are and all of this. So I'm delivering them and installing them mobile disco. So these guys that own that club say, well, hey, we hear you're a DJ. You scratch records and stuff? I'm like, yeah. They're like, what's your DJ name? I'm like, DJ Chris. They're like, nah, that ain't it. So they said, listen, when you come we want you to DJ at our club on Friday, 11 p.m. When you come, we have a marquee. So we'll put your name up there. You be here at 11 and that'll be your name. I said, perfect. So I get there Friday, say 11 p.m., The Glove. I was like, that's me, Chris the Glove. So I went on, and ever since then, so I'm working at this nightclub, DJing records. When I go in there, there's people spray painting on the. We got an outside wall you can spray paint. That's graffiti going. I got break dancers. I got this guy on the microphone. Every time I play records, he start talking. That's Ice-T. I'm like, well, so I start making the records not sing. I'm cutting so they can just have the beat so he can rap. He's telling the story. I noticed he's telling the story, so I'm just keeping the beat going. Then I start breaking it down on parts that I knew. You know, as time went on, we became a bit. You know, just at the club, we wasn't really a group. We was just together. And during this time, producers. So the club itself was a really eclectic group. It was like a 13 and over club, no alcohol, but you could bring it if you wanted to. Like people bring boxes of wine back when boxes of wine wasn't cool. So, so people don't remember that shit. So anyway, it would be people, celebrities, super celebrities, like Michael Jackson's in there.
Yes.
Madonna up and asked us to perform on stage when she was brand new. She came in, she had to interview with me and Ice-T to see if we let her perform at radio. This was Madonna, the Madonna. She wasn't Madonna then. She was just a chick from Orange County named Madonna.
Wow.
Madonna Chicone, or however you say that shit. But anyway, Sting used to populate it, Al Jarreau, Malcolm McLaren, you know, Eddie Murphy, all these people, whoever was doing something was coming there. So me and Ice was like, we perform for stars. So we're like the DJ to the stars. He's the MC for that's why people start. So then someone wanted to film a documentary. It became a happening. So they wanted to shoot it. And we I hadn't been in nothing filmed. So I was like, okay, we did this documentary, 1983. And then after that, there was a calendar news story written in LA Times. Calendar section used to be like 4 million readers every Sunday. They did a cover story on the club radio and, you know, what it was. And then after that, they wanted to make a movie about it. And that's when Breaking.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, that's that time. So we're in, it's about 1984, I guess, or late 1983, early 84. I think it's really 84, like the spring. We shot that thing in like 2-3 weeks.
Wow.
It was quick.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hella quick. So, I just had an epiphany. So anyway, so we're filming this movie. We're doing all the club scenes we filmed over the 2 weeks. So we were doing our regular thing and playing music, and then my friend at the time, my girlfriend at the time, overhears the producers talk about they want to get music from Africa Bambaataa. And she was like, you just bought a drum machine. You should tell them you do music. Totally not knowing that I had only made one beat. I went in there and was like, yo, I could do the music for this. They was like, cool, you do it. Perfect. This is how much we're going to pay you. I was like, whoa, I ain't never had that much money.
Yes.
Like they gave me 3 checks. Each check was more than the last one, and the check I got from my first royalty was more than all of that.
Yes. Yes.
But so after doing that, they filmed the movie. They let me do the music. We do the trailers and all that. They're about to put out the movie and a soundtrack, and they go, hey, we don't have any talking songs on this album. Can you do a song and put a talker on it? That's a rapper. So I said, yeah. So I took one of the instrumentals, me and my boy Dave Storrs, and we chopped it up, and I went and laid the turntable parts, and then I called up Ice, got him come to the studio. He came and laid his vocals, and there was it, Reckless. Went on the soundtrack, 4 million copies. Boom. That organ went straight to a plaque.
Yes. Yes.
And I was like, this is 1984. Me and Ice-T got platinum records before any of those groups even were made up. Right. Any of them. Before anybody that sold 1 million copies in LA, they was in middle school when this happened. Yes. I love how people tell you, yeah, we was here at this, like this whole thing with hip hop's 50th. Everybody tell you they was at Cedric, but that party was in 1973. I know that I was 12, 11, No, 73, I was 11. My mama would not let me go to no party or no rec center at all. And I know most of those dudes my age, mama wouldn't let them go either. If you 60 and you telling me you was at that party, you a damn lie. I don't care what they telling me.
Right.
Now, I met Coke LaRock and cats like that, and he told me about, he was DJing the party. He said, Boo, Cool Herc didn't even DJ. Coke LaRock was DJing from the other room.
Oh. Wow.
So, you know, it's a trip, man. I'm gonna have to tell my boy Coop that. I don't think I brought that up. But yeah, it's quite a funny thing, people saying what they did and where they were. Then you go, how old are you? And they tell you, and you go, so that means you was 9 years old and you was DJing, scratching records. Like when I was 17, 8 years later, I had to discover what to even use to make a sound of a record, and then get the record Grandmaster Flash on the Wheels of Steel to learn how to even know what a back cue scratching sound is. So sure you did. and my IQ is up there, so I'm saying I don't know if a 9-year-old without a 210 IQ was doing that. I'm just saying.
Right.
But I believe you. You was at the party and you are original hip hop.
Yes.
You know, like Ice-T could have been at that party because he's 65, 64. He was 14. I was 11. He was 14 and already moving around on the streets. He could have been there.
Right.
And people like that. But everybody down under, they younger than me, man. They're pulling your leg.
Yes. Yes. I love this. I love these origins, man. Actually, you answered like a bunch more. I was actually a few more of my questions directly in a row. You answered about the movie Breakin' and the Reckless song. And, you know, I was going to ask you, what was that like being in that movie with Ice-T and stuff? Like how did you feel when you were making that? Was it like, yes, I always knew I was going to do some legendary shit?
So I'm gonna tell you, to be honest with you, when I did Reckless, we was just having fun. We didn't care.
Yes.
We had already made money. Like the money was insane. That's why I keep telling people, like, we didn't care if records sold. That's extra money.
Yes.
So I'll tell you a story of how we did Reckless. It's so funny. Hold on one second.
Sure.
So we got the song. Me and Dave are mixing it now. Ice and Lake, these amazing vocals. I still think it's one of his best performances sounding to me ever. And the record label calls and says, hey, we want to hear what's going on, blah, 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 because it's like the last hour. They need to go to pressing plant like now. Oh, yeah, Ice goes, Dave Stores goes, now, mind you, we started this at midnight. So they calling us throughout the night. So Dave tells them sometime around 2 or 3 in the morning, tell them to bring some chicken. We want them. And Ice goes, yeah, we want 2 buckets of chicken. And strawberry soda.
Yes.
So you want to hear the record? Bring that. So we know ain't no place going to open until 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. So sure enough, 6 in the morning, they at the door. Bang, 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 bang. We got your chicken. So Dave, Ice goes, no. The dude goes, bang, bang, bang. We're at the door. Ice goes, they got the chicken? Dave said, you guys got the chicken? Dave's the white guy. We got the white guy at the door. He's like, you got the chicken? They hand him the chicken, 2 buckets, whatever else. The IC go, what about the soda? See, they trying to like come in with stuff, right? So he gets the sodas. So then they go, when can we hear it? He says, call us back at 9. Go on. I told him that. Close the door. So, because, I mean, who's going to tell us about a rap record and how we making it and what is it or what? Like, all they going to have is questions, bro. They're not going to. So, like, you know, it was no rap professionals. We were those. And we was, imagine Kobe Bryant coming into the league and the league just started.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what we were. Like, not only is, and it was big, like it didn't just start off little, it started little and popped off.
Right.
So yeah, it was interesting. So that was kind of like the mentality of whenever we did stuff. We was kids, man. We was 21. We didn't care about none of that shit. Not really. It was all about the club that night. Whatever we was doing, we had to be at the club so we can do our show or whatever. That's really what it was more. Those were our commitments, you know, Uncle Jam Army gig, or we had the Santa Monica Civic or the Vets Auditorium or Riverside Roller Skating Rink or Skate Country, Skate Junction. Never did do those. I'm telling you, man, I stayed away from the Compton stuff. It was dangerous.
Right.
But I was DJing in Hollywood and all of that, so it was pretty much just as dangerous. I mean, Hollywood ain't really Compton, but it ain't. They sell crack on the corners in Hollywood. Well, I don't know if they still do, but they used to. Back then, it was crack central.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, Hollywood was a seedy place. And then the personality of Hollywood is in the films. You can see it. They're seedy.
Right. Right. Exactly. Man.
Where they come from.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a wonderful time, though.
I bet. That sounds like a wonderful time. And just and coming up with Ice-T like that and being there at the foreground of hip hop and having those memories, man, that's so dope. That's such an awesome thing. And you've also been with like the biggest labels on the West Coast. You were with Ruthless Records, you were with Deathrow, you were with Aftermath. Like what like how did you start working how did you get on with but how did you get working with Ruthless Records?
So it's a funny thing, man. The way that I was in an R&B group. So I'm a DJ, and I DJ the hottest clubs and did all. I mean, you know, I was all of this. I'm a really DJ. Like I'm making money. I'm a DJ, bro. I didn't have to produce or none of that shit. I had a job as a DJ. That was money.
Right.
A lot of money and showing up. Same as being a celebrity. You show up everywhere, you get free everything.
Yeah.
Same thing. Just not a celebrity. Just, you know, popular.
Right.
So I was doing music and so when I started after Reckless, I started DJing and scratching on a lot of people's music. I worked with Quincy Jones and a man named Lil Silas Jr., rest in peace, and Benny Medina. I was in a group with Benny Medina and Kerry Gordy. I worked with a lot of people, and so I didn't want to do rap. Yeah. I'm making money.
That.
Let's rap. I mean, I get more money going to scratch for Bobby Brown, and they don't even use it. You know what I mean? I work with Weird Al Yankovic. $2,000 for the day, not for the week, like when we did the movie. Like I'm good. So my boy, I'm putting together this group, and my boy Dave, he actually, we went to this party, and we hung out, and we met Dr. Dre at this party. My girl Stacy gave it in Banning, and me and my boys, we crazy, right? There, my group, we took Dre and we threw his ass in the pool. Whack! Like, yeah, I got a picture us throwing him in the pool. Whoosh! And so that's how I met throwing him in the pool. But he didn't know really what I did. So my boy Dave became friends with him and started telling him, like, you know, what I did. So one day I'm at the house. I live in an apartment over in Hollywood. I'm walking out, taking the trash out. My boy come around the corner. I hear this music. I live in a busy street, so you can see the cars. And it's a convertible come around the corner playing No More Lies, banging loud. I'm like, damn. Pull up in the driveway. I'm taking the trash out. It's my boy Dave. And the guy driving is Dr. Dre. But obviously, you know, you see your friend like, yo, what's up, Dave? This is a dope car. And then I look over, oh, that's Dre. How you doing? Yo, what's up? I'm Dre. Okay. So anyway, he said, man, I wanted him to meet you. I wanted to hear, you know, you got that set up in the living room because I had my MPC drum machine and all my shit set up in the living room. I had all my gear. So he said, classic. I said, all right. Came up. He said, you hooked all this up and did all this? I said, yeah. And I pushed play, boom. I was playing the music. He was like, that's banging. I was like, you got, you know, what's up? I mean, we need to be the first group to sign to Ruthless. And he was like, okay. So he signed my group to Ruthless Records. And that's how I got in. We came to my house. Like, remember now, my name I went there and it was in lights, so I got that. And then Dre, he came to my house. So like, God brings everything. You don't gotta go nowhere. You don't gotta spend no money.
Right.
You just gotta be ready when the time comes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When it's time to go, don't be getting ready, be ready.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
that's the part.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how I got involved by being signed to Ruthless. And then so remember, I had started working in music in '83.
Right.
I made my first record. We used to make bootleg records on wax in the '82, '83. You know, I was doing that then. So, okay, you got me now. I'm finna go right to the spot
Yeah.
and get my shit going. So, when I started working with guys like Benny Medina and Quincy Jones, I started learning about some of the most awesome studios on earth. That I started working, renting those rooms. I would work in SSL rooms. I learned that there was Neve and the SSL. They both had automation. People thought that the Neve felt one way, but I liked the way that the SSL looked better. Really, it just looked better. I didn't even, and then the sound. Then I found out I made the right choice. So this particular mixer is crucial to the sound of records. For instance, most people weren't really using the SSL. They were on Neves and Triton. The British one, I can't remember the name of it. It starts with a T. But anyway, they're mixing on these great boards. But we started using this SSL, and I used the compression a certain way. So all the records on the radio started sounding a certain way, the R&B ones, because that's who was in there mixing in these rooms. So I started using that. Remember, I'm doing R&B, so I got to be hot. I talked to Babyface. He told me, you need to use this Sony microphone right here. This is what I use. So I brought that to Dre. I brought that microphone, which he still uses to this day, and the SSL, which he mastered himself. I didn't teach him. I just said, this is what you need to be mixing on. So the funny thing was, he told me, so when we mix these records, right, it's me and like all the guys in the group. It's like 7 guys sitting at the board. And then when we got to break down, you got to turn the volume down or up. And if you don't, you missed it. I said, you got to trust them dudes on your record. I'm like, let me show you something. I took him to the studio called Can-Am. Said, meet me up here. He came up in there. He said, this is like an airplane cockpit. I said, yeah, watch this. I hit the button. All the faders started moving by themselves. He was like, what the fuck? I was like, bro, this is called automation, bro. Welcome to the new world. You don't need nobody in the studio. I work alone. Yeah. He was like, what about the engineer? I said, I'm an engineer. Fuck what they doing. I'm turning it up. I don't want to tell him turn up the bass.
Right.
I turn up the bass.
Yes.
You know, so that's the thing that I brought to Dr. Dre, more so than beats or whatever. It was technology. And when you, like, I'm like the alien that gave us the fax machine. And that's when we went broadband. Once we learned about broadband, all of a sudden now we got the internet. Now we got, we can send pictures. You know, it's a lot to it. So that's me. I'm his paradigm shift.
Yes. I love it. Being at man, that blows my mind. It's almost like, man, I can't even think of the next thing. But being at Ruthless Records for a while, could you tell us any funny story or a fond memory you have of being at Ruthless Records, like of anything with Eazy E in it?
Most definitely, man. Let me tell you. So when we signed the Ruthless, Eazy would call me every morning at like 6:30. Eazy would call, and then he would put Dre on the 3-way, and then I would put my boy Mike Lynn, and it would be the 4 of us. We would talk every morning, probably for at least 6 months. So just talking to Eazy, and the funny story is this. So when we get on the phone, every time we all get on the phone, Eazy be like, man, I gotta go take a shit. And then he would come back in like 10 seconds. All right. And then I'd be like, yo, I thought you was taking a shit. And then Dre would say, that nigga Eazy shit like a bird. Oh my God. was so much fun every day. Yeah, it wasn't all bad. It was mostly fun. It wasn't bad. It was just
Yeah.
people weren't really getting paid or whatever. It was great until you found out when you got home. What you mean I don't got no money?
Right. Shit.
And then it becomes Deathrow Records, motherfucker.
Right. Right. That's what I was gonna ask. Was when you guys left there, were you having the same type of problems Dre and Ice Cube were having?
No.
No.
Dre and Ice Cube and NWA, that was one thing.
Okay.
I think I remember Cube was like, he found out that his money wasn't correct or something, and he wanted a bigger piece of the pie or whatever it was. I don't know what the whole ordeal was, but they separated.
Yeah.
When we went to Deathrow, we were actually under a contract with Ruthless, and Dre was supposed to get a certain amount of money based upon the amount of our deal. And they told him one number, and I showed him the number in our contract. And that's when the shit hit the fan. It was like, I don't know what they told you, but look.
Right.
Like, they owe me another $200,000. I'm like, $200,000 is a lot of money.
Wow, yes, it is.
To be owed.
By any standards.
Today.
Right.
Shit, that was in 1990.
Wow. That's like double.
Yeah, at least double. Don't have no interest on it for today. Crazy, right?
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, man. It's but you know, that was Ruthless Records, and then we had to move on.
Right.
So we moved on.
How was it at Deathrow? Like, could you tell me a fond memory of at Deathrow while you were working there?
Absolutely. There was plenty of fond memories at Deathrow.
Yeah.
If
you don't mind, I'd like to hear I like these stories. I'd like to hear a couple of them if you don't mind.
No problem. I hope you can see me. My screen seems hella dim. Oh, there. Oop. Go away. There we go. So let me think of it. Man, that's actually a kind of let me think of well, I tell you, we had a bunch of I'll tell you one. When we were doing California Love, that was originally Dr. Dre's song.
Yeah.
So Dre tells me that we got the horn players that are coming. They're coming to perform the horn parts, and I'm gonna play a keyboard part on the song now. So I'm like, cool. So the horn players come. It's gonna be a second. So they line up. They get in their sound. I go out and go into the kitchen, make some food. I'm making a sandwich. So I run up in the kitchen, boom. I'm in the kitchen starting to cook up, and here comes Tupac. Tupac walks in with a blunt. What's up? What's up, man? All right, blah, blah, blah. Here's you want to hit this blunt? Yeah, I hit it. So I hit the blunt. And then I was like, you want a sandwich? She was like, nah, I'm good. So then he went to the back. I saw him walk off. So I finished making my food. I go around. I walk through the back and go in the back into the studio. This motherfucker's on the microphone. I don't bail fresh out of jail, California dreaming. But he's like he done the third part. Like he's finished. It sounded like the record when I walked in. I was like, when I left out of here, it was 2 Dr. Dre verses. When I came back, it was Dre and Pac. And Dre was grinning ear to ear. He was grinning ear to ear. I hear people tell a story about that he wasn't happy or something about Pac being on the song because it was originally his song. I said, man, I was sitting there. That dude was grinning ear to ear. He was happy as hell. Pac was on that song. I don't know what you talking about, but hey, you can think that if you want to. But I was sitting next to him. That smile didn't look like, yeah, I hate that dude. No. It was a big ass, happy, super goofy smile. Like, we got another one.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what we do, man. We keep bringing the heat.
Right.
Always.
Always.
It
Since
ain't,
day one.
it ain't never. Some people don't like it sometimes, or most of the time, when people don't respond to the music that we've done, it's because they wanted something else. It's not because it wasn't good. It's because, oh man, you guys didn't do X, or y'all, I wanted to hear Dre and Snoop, or you know what I mean? That's when we have an issue. Like with the Firm, it was Carmega wasn't on the album. But what about the guys that are? Like,
Right. Right,
so,
exactly.
it's a lot of that, but it's cool. People, it is what it is, my G.
Right. People like that, people that want to complain are always going to find something no matter how great shit is. They'll always find something no matter what.
Oh yeah, bro.
Did
My
you?
boy told me once. Yes, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, sir.
My boy told me once, you can give everybody you know $10,000, and everybody's gonna have a problem with you.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
Yes.
why did you give him 10,000? Well, I can't get 20,000. I'm not a better friend. I'm not worth this.
Right.
So he says it don't matter, bro. You can give them all something, or don't give them all nothing. What's
Yes.
the difference? They're gonna all feel away.
Yes.
So I was like, you're right. So that's why I'm like, I respectfully don't care what people think. Like,
Yes.
because I believe they are allowed their thoughts. So you can think what you want, man. That's cool.
Right.
You don't got to tell me what you think. Like, I think your record is this. I mean,
Right.
if it's negative, keep it to yourself. If it's positive, I'll take it.
Right.
I'm really tripping. I kind of don't care, though. I do my music for me, and if people like it, I think that's fantastic, but I
Right.
like it. So I'm like, yo, you like it too? Good. Because,
Well, I think that's
boy, I sure was waiting on that one. Like, I wasn't going to live if you didn't like it. Like, people be acting like that. You know what I mean? Like, dude, we make music for us, bro. We really could care less if you like it or what. But
yeah.
if you do like it and buy it and support us, it's usually because you like us and not the particular song or whatever. It's love for the artist and support for the person.
Right.
So that's what I like.
Yes.
I like that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Tell us about, because I heard a story before, because I go on your IG a lot, especially when you do lives. Tell us, would you tell that story about when you first started smoking?
Oh yeah, bro. So I produced a song called "Stranded on Death Row" on the Chronic album.
Yes.
This right here, and I mixed
Yes.
that album with Dre and Greg Royal. And when me and Dre got done, Dre looked over at me and was like, "Yo, man, you ever smoke weed?" I was like, "Man, you know I don't smoke weed." He was like, "Man, we got to smoke some weed before we put this Chronic out." And I'm like, "What you mean?" I said, "Nigga, I know you smoke weed, brother." He was like, "Never smoked a joint." So after we finished mixing, we went to my boy Mike Land's house, and I didn't even know. It's like all of a sudden everybody smoked weed. Like nobody smoked weed but Snoop and them dudes until this day. And that joint came out of nowhere, and we had weed it was like, y'all been hiding this from me all this time. Like, how did this happen? But me and Dre, in my mind, I remember it being a Wayne's World moment where we was looking at the planes and shit because we were by the airport. It was a trip. But yeah, that's my first experience with cannabis.
Yes. I love that classic shit.
I
love
smoked
it.
Chronic after finishing the Chronic with the Chronic maker.
Yeah. Woo! I love
This was
it.
cool, actually. Yeah, that was a great moment, actually.
Right. It's a great story, too. You
It
smoked
was some good
Chronic.
weed, too.
Yeah. Hey, it was the Chronic.
I think it was Chronic.
Yeah. Yes. Um, how long about did you guys work at Deathrow before you ended up going to Aftermath?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. I remember I left Deathrow in like, I don't know, 90. think like 94. Oh no. Yeah, like 94, right in that summer 94, in 95, I think I left.
Okay.
Because OJ Simpson, I remember he was running from the police, and we ran outside to see him. And a few days later, I was called to come out the studio, and we didn't do our deal with them. We did our deal. We didn't do our deal with Atlantic. We did our deal with, I'm sorry, we didn't do our deal with Interscope. We did it with Atlantic.
Okay.
And after that, yeah, the end of 95, I was out of there. I couldn't hang. It was too much. Deathrow.
Shit.
Like I only got like a couple good memories outside of being in the studio. Everything else was like going to the office and dealing with the other guys was like,
damn, that gets in the way of
but
everything.
you know, yeah, it's just that it was a weird kind of danger around. Like,
oh, I bet
people was getting killed and shit.
Right. I don't
Like
blame you,
dying. Yeah, it was definitely weird.
man. I mean, just from all the boogeyman stories, a guy, a guy like me sees on TV and documentaries just about Suge and all the stuff itself. Like I can imagine. You probably don't even want to have to go into too much detail about it. We could probably guess.
Yeah, you can imagine that, right? Like, that's an easy one for people.
Right.
Like people will ask me, hey, so how was the environment? I don't know what you're talking about. We was cool. We was in the studio.
Right.
I heard that so-and-so slapped somebody. I was not present for that altercation. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
I ain't ever seen nobody get slapped by that guy.
No.
I don't care what they tell you. People just say stuff too, man. There's a whole thing about the fan, and then there's a thing about the people who are there.
Right.
And the fan, most humans tend to add to the story. Like I used to collect witness statements, and they're always, the car was blue, the car was black.
Right.
The car was red. Okay, it wasn't blue or black. They just hit the corner so fast. You know what I'm saying? So eyewitness accounts and cameras are bad witnesses.
Yes.
Did you know that? Cameras are the worst witnesses because they have a perspective and they look like a certain thing.
Yes.
And so then you need all of the perspective to get a good idea of what's really happening. If you don't have that, then you're just looking at a picture of some shit that anybody could have did. Like, really? They used to tell us, if you don't see somebody commit a crime, then don't assume they did it. You can't arrest them. If you see a guy standing next to a broken window with a brick and blood on his hand, that don't mean he broke it. He could have came outside and picked up the brick to see who threw it. Like, don't just assume. And so that helps me with a lot of things when I learned that stuff, from law enforcement. It was you know what, I could do that in the studio. I don't have to assume that guy knows that I know, that he knows what I'm about to say, just because we make beats, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or whatever. And so then I just started saying shit. Like, I say what I feel, and cats can respect it or not. But this guy got all these plaques, except for one, I think, came from Dre. All we was doing was we was printing platinum plaques. Guys can say whatever the hell they want, man. Everything was platinum.
I still listen to all of it. All of it.
Platinum, or we didn't do it. Like platinum or bust.
Yes.
And the record label had to promote it like such. Like, yo, if we can't see that this is being promoted like a platinum album, we ain't gonna make you nothing else.
Right.
You know? So they did their thing.
Hell yeah. I still listen to all of it. All of it. I still listen all of it, all the way back to Ruthless. I still listen to all of it.
And so because you're saying that, that's another initiative I'm trying to do. So there's people in the music industry that have worked on music, and it's made money, but they can no longer get restitution or go after copyrights because the copyright statute of limitation time has passed. And I'm gonna lobby that out because I think that's good for like a car accident or you know, somebody can sue you for, you know, you killed their cat, or, you know, we had a fender bender, or we got a business, you know, but anything that's forever, like, so you telling me I got 3 years to, or they can steal this thing from me and sell it forever. Like you say, you still listen to that music today. I know people who still buy the music.
Right.
How is that? How is there a statute of limitations on that?
Right.
There is no statute of limitations. That's still being, it's a mountain. It's still earning.
Wow.
So if it's still earning, then I should be able to still speak on it. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous.
Right.
That's for something else. That's not for us. Just like music publishing got created because a guy heard a singer, he couldn't sing. How can I make money off of that guy singing? I can rent a place and he can perform. Hey, where's that song you sing? Oh, I wrote it on this paper. Why don't you let me print that paper and sell that paper with your words and the melody on it? That way I can make some money. That's music publishing. That's all it is. You don't need that.
Right.
That's a whole separate being that don't exist. You just made it out of nowhere.
Right. Yes.
Like, write it on this paper. He had it on a paper.
Right.
Like, write it on this paper so I can sell it.
Right. So he can get a piece off him.
And then they take all of it and want to give us peanuts. They build big buildings and give us crumbs. Like Spotify, I don't understand how people even, if I knew a place that took 98% or 95% of the income, and I was all of the thing, all them artists should yank their music out of there, bro. Who wouldn't? They can start their own Spotify and get 100%.
Yes. Right. Heads blown.
Man, cats are like, they really don't. I guess it is different when your number is different on that IQ thing. I guess you think different. I didn't never believe that. I thought everybody was. My mom used to tell me, everybody don't think like you, baby. I was like, yes, they do. They know this. I'm giving them all the benefit of the doubt. I say one word, they be like, what's that? I'm like, oh, my mama's right.
Right.
They don't know none of this. And they sitting right next to me.
Right.
I'm like, you're in the car with me. You don't even know what street we on?
Yes. As you probably saw, there's a little pattern there as I was asking about each, you know, Ruthless, Deathrow, and everything. I was asking about kind of a story from each one. Do you have a story you could tell us about Aftermath, maybe with Jimmy Iovine involved? Or something like that? Something you.
See if I got a very cool. Let me see if I got a cool Jimmy Iovine story. So, actually, right after, like right as we're doing Murder Was the Case, Jimmy calls Dre, and Dre's like, come on, Glove, let's go. We're going to go with Jimmy. We're going to meet another guy, another producer. So like, okay. So Jimmy's like, yeah, we're going to go up to this house in Beverly Hills. It's my guy, Trent Reznor from 9 Inch Nails, right? 9 Inch Nails. So we hop in the car. We follow Jimmy. You know, he's being chauffeur driven in a BMW. He's dope. When his driver is like a Mossad or something, you know what I mean? So we roll up. We going up in Hollywood. Now I'm from LA. Remember I told you I'm born in Hollywood. So we rolling up to higher up in Beverly Hills, and I'm starting to think this is where the house where the Manson murders was at. Charles Manson killed like 6 people. Tate LaBianca, Sharon Tate.
Yeah.
Sure enough, we pull up right to the fucking house.
What?
Where the Tate murders were. I'm like, ooh. I didn't say nothing. We go inside. We walked it around. I think Dre had mentioned we're going to go to this house where this happened, like in the beginning, but it didn't really faze him. He didn't think about it. So I'm getting in his house, and I remember I said, okay, it was a body by that thing. You know, it was like 7 bodies or something in that motherfucker. So
it's kind of spooky.
Jimmy and Dre and, you know, Trent are talking. It's a little ass living room, right? he in the living room. He got his whole shit set up. Like I told you, I have mine set up in the beginning. He had a whole setup there. He was recording an album, all kind of shit in his house. And so I'm standing off to the side by the kitchen door. And so they're talking out. And so I just blurted out, hey, yo, is this where they painted pig in blood on the door? And he ran over and said, yo, you know what house this is? And they just took us on a tour of the murder house, all where the killings were, all of the shit that happened. The baby had the fork. She got the pregnant lady. The fork was moving. This was where she was laying right here. And I was like, damn. So we left from there. And Dre did that song, Natural Born Killers. We watched, we watched Helter Skelter. And that became the record that he was going to make. And Natural Born Killers was the first song we did for Helter Skelter.
Yes.
Which became, it became not Helter Skelter, and it got on Murder Was the Case. So, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Classic.
But that's a Jimmy. I got a lot of Jimmy stories, but I'm not going to tell them. I'm putting in my book.
Hey, hell yeah. And when you write that, I'll definitely get that book. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, I've asked you all kinds of stuff about the past. What are you working on these days? What can fans go out and try to, check out these days, what you're working on?
Oh, right now I have an album that I released called REDSHIRT FRESHMAN. Actually, one of my songs on there, Cahuenga Boulevard, that's one of the things that I did, written about my time in at Deathrow. Ooh, I can do that here? Yes. Oh, I can't have any though. So I have it's like I call it a forever album. I'm gonna add new songs to it as I complete them to all the holders, and plus all of the people who buy my record. And I call them holders. All in my community, they can come to the shows, so you can come and show that you're an owner and walk in the concert. I have a section off to the side for them. So
hell yeah.
That plus the new music. So but the thing is, the price is like, it goes up. So right now, it started off at $20 and now it's $60.
Right.
And it's going to go up until $1,000. I'm going to keep adding price because I believe art should be what people will pay. If they don't, I don't want them.
Right. You should support them.
Be like, I'm not going to pay that. Okay, excuse me. Yes, I will. I want you. I don't want the other. I don't need the negative. You could go take your money and do your other thing. But everybody's going to catch on to this and start going, this music is way too cheap, man. It needs to be way more expensive.
Right.
Way more.
Yes. Yes.
People make copies. They take it in their room. They put it on their computer. They take it over here. They listen to it when they work out. They go, man, that's just way more valuable than 99 cents, $9 a month streaming, whatever. Buy your music like you buy your paintings.
Right. Right. Yes. Absolutely. Definitely. What do you got coming down the pipeline in the future? Have you got anything coming in the future? Oh, actually, you just said you're gonna keep adding to the.
Well, yeah, I got
Forever
the REDSHIRT FRESHMAN. My single I got now, Cahuenga Boulevard. You can stream that, but everything else you have to purchase directly from me. You DM me on Instagram. You can actually purchase in Instagram. It's a cool little feature in the messaging. So I'm selling it there. I'm not even doing a website anymore because they have parameters. So directly to me. And also, I'm doing my next video. It's like a medley video, so I'm gonna be dropping that in the next couple of months. It's gonna be Taste Love and like that. You gotta check out the album, man. It's a cruise. Yeah. You put it in and kick back, smoke some weed.
Hell yeah.
You gotta get one, man. I'm not giving none of them away, man. $60.
Hell yeah. I want to get one too. As soon as I get rent paid this time around, I've been planning on it. I'm dying to hear what's on it. Especially
you come every day just to listen to it.
Yeah. Right.
And that's what I'm telling people. Like, I perform it every day, but you gotta pull up.
Are those songs that you've been performing? So those are all on it?
All those songs that you heard, except for if you hear like a Dr. Dre, I'm not putting that on my album.
Right.
That's not on there. That's on a soundtrack album that's going to come out later. But I'll play it and let people hear it.
Right.
But I'm not releasing that. Dre's going to release that.
Nice. Hell yeah. Well, I'm excited to hear what's all on there and stuff. I've been dying to hear it. It's just like, damn, But I gotta, I'm a single dad, I'm a widower and shit, so shit gets
Come
tight
on, man. We
sometimes.
hook you up. You good.
Right. So
You a
yeah.
shady too. She wants. I keep telling her. I was like, I'll send you one. She's like, no, I'm gonna buy it when I get mine. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna keep
Right,
on
because I
until I
want to
get it. I said,
support the
okay,
artists
girl.
that I believe in. I believe you
So it's
deserve
all
the
good.
money. You deserve it.
And we love it, man. So you good, man. Believe me. I'm gonna be here doing my show too. So I'm sure the sound quality, I also do that on purpose. It sounds good, but I can make it perfect, but then you can just copy it and sell it. So I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no. Right. Hell yeah, I wouldn't
I
do
mean, I
that for
got that
somebody, but other people
part
are
figured
like
out.
that though. Other people do that. I wouldn't do it.
Some people do that. Yeah, one of my songs turned up on YouTube. I don't really care, man, because they can't do nothing with it. They can't even monetize it or
Right.
sell it or
Nope.
nothing.
Nope. They can't do nothing with it unless you
Just
let them.
there.
That's shady of
I let
somebody
it
to
live.
do
I
to
won't
take
take a
somebody
chance.
else's hard work, their heart and soul into, and then just here I'm gonna put like, man, what the hell? Maybe they didn't want
Like,
everybody
they
to
don't
hear
even
that
know what
yet.
I wanted to do with that. Now it's on YouTube.
Right. Man, that sucks. I hate that crap. It's like people always, I pirate this, that. Not every, believe it or not, every artist that I listen to, every album that I love, I've always bought at least one copy of it. Always, because
That's dope.
I think they should get the money. Their music has changed my life and made me feel good and got me through horrible times. So I should just get it for free. That they went through horrible times, some of them to make it, or they're talking about things they went through. That was
Or
their
they're
life.
going through horrible times right now. So that's why it's for sale.
Right. Yes.
Like,
Exactly.
like honestly, I wouldn't sell any of my music. I would just have people come and hear it. Like I would keep it, and you'd have to
Right.
come and hear it like a
Yeah.
minstrel. You can
Yes.
only hear it where I'm at. You
Right.
can't buy it.
That'd be
So
dope.
I'll probably do that after I finish. Once I get, so when this album's $1,000, that means I'm now people like it. It's everywhere. Blah blah blah.
Right.
When it gets to that point, then I'm gonna only perform music that I never
Yes.
sell.
Yes. There'll be
Like
a demand
come
for
here
it.
and hear the show.
Yes. What gives you the
People don't
drive
think.
to keep going and making these hits?
Um, man, I tell you, we being in the studio. If you go to the studio every day, something's bound to come out, bro. I mean, if you're any good at it, then something else is even better. But I tell you, the thing though, it's like the part after that is what's the hard part, like making it work and marketing and getting it going and getting people into it and getting assistance or giving assistance or whatever. It's those things that make or break your record. So you can have a great record, but I got lots of records nobody ever heard that they will go, wow, but you got to know how to integrate them into the system without selling your soul and
Right.
screwing all kind of things that causing, just because you step forward, it could be a lot of people lateral making steps that are not trying to have you have a beneficial career. I mean, they want it to be beneficial, but they want the money. And
Yes.
it's just business. It's not personal. It's not about you. It's just that you're now a commodity. It's like people want gold.
Right. Right.
So you got to learn how to deal with the emotional side of being a creator that people want to take from first before they want to help you. Even the ones that want to help you seem to be on that. So I prefer to be a helper. I don't want anything from people. I didn't ask you for nothing to do this thing. I don't ask people for money for interviews and stuff. I can get money from people. I have to ask people that don't have too much money for money. But you got to buy the record though.
No, absolutely. That
Like I learned
absolutely.
that part. Yeah,
Hey.
like I'm not going to just So people are, and it's a good thing. But me, as far as my drive, it's from the Lord, and God inside me is a fireball, and it just, I don't know. I want to do a lot of things. I don't believe my time is short. I believe my time is long,
Right.
and that I want to get things implemented into the system. I feel like we need better stewards. Like we had a run of all these people that, you can't really can or cannot on your own choice trust. So you need some people that trust themselves, and you can trust them because they're like A leader is someone who strikes out. There's nothing in front of him but disaster and problems and potholes that he's got to overcome.
Yes.
And then when you look behind you, it's a whole bunch of people following you. Like, what the hell is this? Oh, you're our leader. I'm in front is all.
Right.
I'm looking for something. No, you're leading us. So now I'm a leader. You know what I mean? That's how leaders are. That's what it happens. People follow you. That's how you become a leader. If you're not being followed, you're not leading shit.
Wow. Yes.
You're just a wanderer. You know, you're leading yourself. So, you know, you gotta, and then people, once they become followers, they have input. Like, well, why are we going this way? Well, why are you following me? I was going over here. Like, I'm that leader. Like, you can ask somebody else that question. I'm going over here. You know what I mean? So,
yes.
Anyway, yeah, I think that musically, I believe that our people need to understand more to not be in a situation such as myself in some of my instances with music. I want to make sure nobody after me has that problem. You know what I mean? And that's it. If nothing else, nobody else is going to end up $30 million short.
Right. Hell yeah.
That on my watch, I'm looking out. I'm going to find them and find out. I got a fund I'm putting together, a DAO, that I want for people who've done hip hop that don't got no proof. Like, all they can do is tell you.
Right.
They can write an essay. They don't have no paperwork, no contract, but they can tell you the people they worked with, who they know, what happened. Right. And those people, if they can convince us to our panel to a point, which they will, boom, $1 million. Yeah. You need to be, you know, and then it's stipend out, because if you're, let's say on drugs or something, and you got to go through this program first, you can't have no money, but we'll help you here if you want money. Here's $1 million, but you got to do this. Yes. You can't have it if you don't.
Yes. So otherwise it'd just kill them anyways.
Well, but people, or some of them get off of it and go do it, and they might do bad anyway, but at least you can rekindle the spark of care of yourself in a person that didn't have that. Well, that's what I mean. Like, if I go do this, I could get that. Me. Like, I ain't been able to do nothing. I'm on the county. I got to get it from here. I can generate this. I'm hoping that people will feel that inside. Be like, yeah, because a lot of people, self-included, probably get that despondent, man, everything I ever did, I can't do nothing. You know, you fall into the cursing of yourself. And then I change your language and start saying, I'm great and fuck it. And God is great and I'm his son. And so what does he have for me? And you keep it on there, or whatever you believe. Stay with the love and greatness and watch what happens. Stop muttering the bullshit. I'm broke, dead. Don't do that. Yes. I got, my money's here. I just haven't, it's here. And don't say nothing. Yeah. It's like you say you broke, but you know you got some money in your pocket. I got money. Right. That's it. I found a thing out myself where I always felt like I need something. And then I remember my studies, and this was a hell of an epiphany. I always felt like if I say I need something, then I'm going to get it, right? Mm-hmm. No. If your consciousness, whatever it is that you are the most concentrating on, is what you desire, and your consciousness will give you whatever it is you desire. So if I need money, it will keep me in the need of money mode so that I'm happy. But if I say I have money, then it'll create money for me to have. Yeah. Or if I want lands, or if I want prosperity or happiness, or whatever it is. It don't have to be money. I just use that because people can quickly identify with that. Yeah. So it can be happiness. And then the whole point is, then you have to assume the happiness, put it on like a coat. And so you find a happy moment in your past that you were so happy, put that shit on and walk around like it's happening all the time. Next thing you know, you're going to be happy. You won't even know why good things are happening. So, you know, this thing here is really powerful. We just don't know how to use it. We need a manual. Yes. Yes. We only use it certainly. And I point here, but I'm talking about imagination, not brain. Right. Yes. Yes. It's genius. All that's, man, seriously, a lot of that stuff you said, I'm going to be thinking about in a lot of that was actually like life-changing stuff, to where I'm literally going to change a lot of my thinking around, because it is powerful. And the stuff we say too, it's I believe there's a power of life and death
and the stuff we say and how we think and stuff too. So, wow, thanks for opening my eyes on that. That's some really good way of looking at things.
Oh, yeah, man. A man is only the sum of his own thoughts.
Yeah,
Ain't nobody else thinking about you, bro. They think about themselves.
right.
They're not worried about you. They're not making my life miserable. I'll make my life miserable.
Right.
Ain't nobody out there specifically trying to hurt me. I think they're trying to hurt me. That's perspective,
Yes.
man.
Right.
You don't need that, man. Close your eyes and all of a sudden all that shit go away.
Right. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not even real.
Right. Yes.
So,
I love it.
But that's another thing. People don't even. That's why I say I always love people and what they think and say. I respectfully don't care what people think because I want you to have your thoughts.
Right.
I don't care what do you care what I don't care what you think because it's wonderful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it's against me. That's your thoughts, bro. You better learn how to work them. Choose life.
Right. Yes. I love it. Man, you answered a whole lot of awesome questions for me, and you told me a lot of great stories. Is there anything you want the people to know or that you'd like to tell the fans?
That's a good question. I would like for people to know that I'm out here making music, trying to make a living now. You know, I'm 60 years old. I've just decided to rap. Come see me in the gym and then tell me how old I am. Remember where I was, where this started. Like, I don't just sit in here in this room. These ain't sweats for chilling. These are sweats because I sweat when I work out. Like, you know. So get up off. I want everybody to get mobile. I want our life to be more healthy. I want to be old and see everybody walking and healthy and get up and get out. Get off your ass. Walk at least 30 minutes.
Yes.
Be nice to people. Just do it. Yes. You know what? Just be nice for a day for everybody, no matter what the fuck happens. Just try that and watch what happens the next day. Don't ask for nothing in return. Just be kind and watch what happens. You're going to start doing it. People be kind to you. Shit start coming to you.
Yes.
I've heard people get a friend of mine was a rich person a while back and they came on hard times, but when they were wealthy, they would do things like they had some household member like a nanny. I remember they gave them a vehicle. They gave them an electric car or something, like a nice car. Like, here, you can have it. Do you know that person came and gave them a car? Like, when they hit hard times, that is the first time I've seen that, where somebody that was helped turned around, and they wasn't rich. They just returned they gave back the same car.
Wow.
But it was paid for. It was no cost. It's electric pretty much, so you don't got to even put gas. So that's a great thing to have, a car you don't got to pay for when you don't have the money to pay for a car.
Right. Right. That
just came from the gesture, bro. You never know when you're going to need something. I will put I'm putting in the account of giving. So somebody later on, I need something that's coming back. Wow, you need some glove? Yes.
Yes. Yes. That's awesome.
But that's it, man. I'm full.
Man, that's awesome. I want to thank you, Chris, for being on the show today. It's truly been an honor to have you on the Honor Show, man. It's really been an awesome time having you on here. God bless you.
I appreciate you for having me, and Shady's Beats for putting us together, and
all of our other crew.
Got Tech out there. Shout out to all my guys, Dismos, Mr. Sweets, K-Mac on the beat, who produced my album with me. You know, and go buy REDSHIRT FRESHMAN. I'm chrisglove.ai or Chris the Glove on Instagram. So come on.
Hell yeah.
Later, y'all.
Have a good day, Chris. Peace.
Woo! That was dope. Hey, again, thank you, Chris. And again, thank you, Shady Beats. Bless your heart.
You son of a bitch.
And now you guys can actually help me out.
You gotta help me.
Hey, all you gotta do is hit that like button. And so you never miss any future episodes, hit that subscribe button along with that little notification bell.